Hello, hello. We are live. How is everybody feeling? This is a little bit of a different broadcast for me, and I'm currently broadcasting in many places. So if the place you are tuned in has any issue at all, don't worry. You can move over to another one. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can find me on any of those platforms by just searching the same words, Sassafras Tarot. Hello. I see someone is already tuned in and has hearted the broadcast. Thank you so much for your heart. I heart you. All right. I'm getting a little banner up because let's get fancy, right? Sassafras Tarot Manifesting Challenge. All right, my loves. So welcome to the Manifesting Challenge. If you're tuned in, let me know where you're at. I do want to give a couple minutes to allow people to mosey on over. I know sometimes I start the witchy weather report 1 or 2 minutes late, so I really understand if people don't show up immediately on time. But for those who are tuned in, hello, how are you? Anna, hi. Savannah, hello. Oh, I love seeing you on Twitch, Savannah. I got the notification that Magic Lavender Witch followed me on Twitch. And I'm like, ooh, I want to be friends with that person. And apparently I am already, so lucky me. Hey, Patty Bell, how are you doing? Washington State, Rhode Island. I am here in New York. I'm on Long Island, out on the East End, not too close to the city, although close enough that I still gig there sometimes. All right. So that's nice. We got some West Coasters. It's not so bad on the West Coast. Noon at the West Coast. That's pretty nifty. That's a good time, I feel like. I tried to put this at times that were reasonable for everyone, but also reasonable for me, because I definitely have to show up. And listen, if you're watching the replay, you're from Long Island, Anna. What part of Long Island are you from? If you're watching the replay right now, if this is after the fact and you're watching this as a replay, do me a favor and type in the comments like, I'm watching the replay or something like that, so I know. And let me know, I hope you will also jump in with comments, because I'm not going to be just doing this live stream and ignoring it. I'm going to be checking in and reading these comments and participating with all of you, even if you can't catch the stream until later when you get off work or get home from school or whatever it might be. So please participate in the comments, even if you're the only one doing it at the moment. It's not silly, because I will be back. Don't worry. And I invite you all to do the same thing and, comment on each other's things. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? So good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Born in West Babylon, lived in Riverhead for 7 years. I'm not too far from Riverhead. I'm in Sound Beach. Living in Rhode Island in exile. Hey, there are worse places to be exiled to. It could be worse. Okay. Hey, Grayson, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hey, Dawn. Yeah, spreading the love. I love it. You can always tune back in, too, for the replay. If anyone has to leave, don't worry. The replay is staying up. So, all right, it's 3:04. So let me tell you what the heck is going on. I'm doing this manifesting challenge. And some of y'all might be like, what even is a manifesting challenge? What does that mean, Rory? Valid question. So I will tell you. So this is not going to be like a class. It is going to be free and fun, and it's going to involve us and all of us and group participation. It's really going to be us getting together and what's the way I want to say this? Comparing notes. It's going to be like a group project, but not one of those stressful group projects where you have to rely on someone else. Because all we have to rely on here is ourselves, but we're going to give ourselves inspiration and encouragement and help each other out along the way. We're all going to pick something, new moon to new moon, because the new moon is tomorrow, that we want to manifest in our lives. And we're going to try to do it over the course of a month. I'm going to give you guys a lot of ideas, a lot of inspiration. That's what these broadcasts are going to be about. I'm going to be sharing my own personal stories and inspiration with you, and I'm going to be giving you like, hey, here's some practical things you can do. If you listen to my podcast, this is like which you got this. It's like that section. I'm going to be giving a lot of practical ideas in these weekly broadcasts about how we can supercharge our manifesting and go after what we want in both practical and spiritual ways. So, here's the deal. Today is the day before the full moon. Nope, I'm already wrong. Before the new moon. The new moon is tomorrow. So the moon is still technically waning tonight, although it might look pretty dark tonight. The new moon is tomorrow, and that's a very good, auspicious time for naming things we want, for setting intentions, and for beginning to set our manifestation in motion. That's why I chose to start this challenge at this time, even though Mercury's in Gatorade. We'll live through it. You know what? It happens often, right? It happens a few times a year, and we still have to live. Hey, Judith. Thanks for tuning in. So we're going to start by choosing something in our lives we want to manifest. Each of us is going to do this individually, and I hope and I know too that like some of you are my patrons, some of you are in the Fire Starters group, some of you are just, good friends, and I know you to be excellent humans. What I'm hoping happens is we all come together as a community, and the sum of the parts is often greater than the whole. We're each individually going to pick something that we want to manifest over the next 28 days, the moon cycle, new moon to new moon. And then we're each individually going to work on it. And we're going to check in with each other and compare notes. And so here's the deal. This is a free challenge. You don't have to pay anything to anyone to do it. I'm going to be doing these live streams every week. Today I'm doing it on Wednesday because I wanted us to get a jump before the new moon, have a little planning time. But after that, it's going to be on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern each week for the rest of the challenge. And during these live streams, we're going to talk about how things are going. We're going to get real with each other. We're going to be like, here's what I'm manifesting. It's going great. Here's what I'm manifesting. Oh God, it's going badly. We're going to be honest. We're going to talk about what we have been doing, what's working, what's not working. We're going to draw inspiration from each other. We're going to make suggestions to each other. We're just going to be a super supportive group, collectively and individually trying to make change in our lives that we love. That's what the plan is. I hope you're in for it. And if you want to have a handy like Facebook event reminder, which you don't have to do this on Facebook, but I'm putting a link right now. There's a link in the chat to two things. One, the full event listing with times and dates, and two, the link to my Patreon. I'm going to be posting also in my Patreon each week, and I'm going to start with something this evening. I'm going to post that Patreon. You don't have to be a member to see these weekly posts. I will be making a post each week that is open to the public, but it's on my Patreon page. So please visit that link. It's patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. Let me put it into the Instagram real quick. Visit that link and follow me. You don't have to subscribe, like, and pay money. You can just follow me because I'm going to post a blog post with a bunch of ideas each week that are relevant to the current phase of the moon and where we are all at together. And I want you to be able to get to that. Now, if you are a patron, or if you choose to become one, you get a little extra because you're giving a little extra, so you get a little extra. If you choose to support me on Patreon, which starts at $1 a month, it's very affordable, then you get daily check-ins during this challenge. So I'm going to be posting it both on the Patreon and in our Discord channel, which is super fun, by the way. You'll love it if you're not a part of it. We'll be doing daily check-ins. I'll be asking questions every day. I'll be throwing little one-liners about, here's a new practice I just heard of. Why don't we all try this? We'll be doing these little check-ins every single day. So we're really, really like day to day, minute to minute, tuned in to what we're trying to manifest together. And I think that'll be really supportive. I hope it'll be really helpful. I hope it'll maybe keep some of us from falling off the wagon, maybe give us some grace and humor when we need it, because sometimes creating change in your life is hard and scary. If you want to be a part of that, you can support me at the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. It's in the chat. And like I said, feel free to just follow me there for free. You'll still get these weekly updates. That's for free, no matter what. Anywho, let's talk about what we're manifesting. So we know this is a manifesting challenge. I invited a bunch of you and individually told you what was going on and did a Facebook event and all of that. Who already knows what they're manifesting? And do you feel comfortable sharing it in the comments? Or at least sharing something about it. If you don't want to share the exact thing, maybe you're superstitious about it or whatever, share it in the comments. Let us know what it is that you want to manifest. And if you don't know yet, the first comment is Savannah saying, I don't know yet. Yeah, right there with you. I literally, I went to physical therapy today. I'm in physical therapy right now for a back injury. And right before this was my physical therapy appointment. And I'm like, he has me walking on a treadmill for 10 minutes every session. And I'm walking on my treadmill and I'm like, I'm doing this manifest challenge and I have no idea what I'm going to manifest. But I actually kind of figured it out on the treadmill. Walking helps sometimes. Ooh, Dawn says, I'm manifesting a new future. I love it. Grayson says, working on improving my health, exercise, etc. Anna also says, need to manifest good health. Savannah says, need to journal, which I absolutely love. That is the way I love to figure things out, is by journaling. Ooh, Judith is manifesting an organization. I've heard about that organization, Judith. I'm really excited about it. So if you are still figuring this out, by the way, hi, Russ. I saw you tuned in and say hello. Ooh, Russ says manifesting moving to the mountains. I love it. Patty Bell says, I have a manifesting plan, but I'm sorry I'm not sharing the details here. Totally, totally valid. And I hope if you're manifesting something, whoever's tuning in, if for whatever reason you don't want to talk about it, like the particular thing you're manifesting, I do hope you'll still participate in terms of like, hey, here are some practices I'm doing, here are, some visualizations or whatever, or like participate in the conversation that way. Like we can still support each other, even if we choose to keep some things personal. I really understand the need to do that sometimes. So because we have some people who have decided already and some people who have not. Don't put pressure on yourself if you haven't figured it out yet. That's why we're doing this before the new moon. The new moon's tomorrow. We got time. Hey, Ariel, thank you so much for tuning in. So, what makes a good manifesting goal? I'm going to tell you my personal opinion on this. You might have your own opinions. It's okay if your opinions differ from mine, but I'm going to try during these broadcasts to share my own wisdom, share what's worked for me, share what I, at this moment in time, feel to be helpful. So I find that a good manifesting goal is not so unreasonable that it's like pie in the sky, right? Like manifesting $1 million in a month might not be like a good goal. That's so, for many of us, it might feel so pie in the sky that we're just like, yeah, I don't know. And then we can't find practical actions to take towards it. But manifesting, I don't know, a smaller amount, manifesting like, okay, I'm going to have enough money to pay down an extra 10% of my debt this month, or I'm going to have enough money in the bank account so that I can start an emergency fund or whatever. Something that feels accessible to you, but not super easy, not so easy that you're going to do it anyway. You want to find that sweet spot between this is a stretch for me, this is a goal I have to push myself towards, and this is something that I honestly, like, it's so pie in the sky that I'm not going to be able to believe in it, because you need to believe in it to be able to manifest it. You need to believe in the possibility. There are people who will tell you you need to firmly believe you already have the thing. I think that that's a little bit intense, and I will tell you I have absolutely manifested things without firmly believing I already have them. Actually, for me, a light touch works best. I find that when I make comments like, wow, wouldn't it be so special if this happened? And I really reflect fondly on what a special, situation that would be and how much I would enjoy that's very powerful for me. And I realize that's hard to come at naturally. That's been my like accidental manifestation experience. A couple times I've made those kind of statements, either to my partner or a friend or just to myself, like had a little daydream about it and literally manifested the thing, just by putting it in my head and being like, that's really cool. And so like that, it's that light touch of like, wouldn't this be nice? And having enough suspension of disbelief that you could picture it, that you could picture how nice it would be and you could believe it could happen to you. as opposed to wouldn't it be nice if I, won Mega Millions and became stupid, ridiculous rich and moved to the moon. Like, that's all really, really nice. I don't know if it's a good manifesting goal, at least not a first start goal, because it feels like fiction. You know what I mean? It might not feel like something you can believe in real hard. Russ says, I gave up trying to be Elvis. Savannah says, I have never manifested anything intentionally through a moon cycle before, so I'm excited. That's so cool. I'm a moon cycle nerd. That has been like my gateway, so to speak, into witchy stuff, is following the moon cycles. So that's my big thing that I love. Hello, lovely. I am not reading live today. We're doing a manifesting challenge. So I'm here to talk about manifestation, and we are all going to name a goal. I hope you'll join us for the challenge if you're into it. We're going to create a goal and manifest something we want in our lives. So, what's a good goal? A good goal is something that feels like a stretch, but not so big of a stretch that it feels pretend, right? Because we're not children playing make-believe. We're adults trying to actually, for real, create something in our lives. Also, a good goal is something that if you have after the fact, it's measurable. Now, for some of us, we are creating something that is tangible and measurable. I'll go ahead and share what my goal is, and it's a little ambitious. I want to manifest more patrons, not just for my Sassafras Tarot. I have 2 Patreons, one's for music and one's for my tarot readings. I don't care which, but that's what I want. I want more patrons at the end of this, because I love Patreon. I love the feeling of having this special, smaller community with people of like mind who are excited about the things I'm excited about, arts and creativity, and creating your own best life and going to bat for yourself and stuff like that. I'm excited about creating community that way, and I'm excited about making that a bigger part of my life. So that is my particular thing that I want to manifest. And that's measurable, right? I can go literally look at those numbers every day and see if I'm progressing on that goal. So I recommend that you make something measurable so that at the end, well, did I manifest anything? That can be a real pitfall for people. I'm going to try to manifest something. I want to manifest happiness. Okay, 30 days go by. Am I happier? That's very hard to ascertain. However, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. I see that I've got a little spammer, so I'm just going to take a quick moment and block that person. I'm so sorry if you're on Facebook and you're seeing that spammer. So if you are manifesting something that maybe feels a little less tangible, for example, if you're manifesting happiness, if you're manifesting reduced anxiety, if you're manifesting, a couple of people said health, right? How can we make that measurable? We don't have to, that's not a goal we have to throw out. Let's make a point of seeing how to make that measurable. So if it's a mood thing, if it's I want to be happier, I want to feel better about myself, then we can do a check-in every day in our journal or somewhere else or on our phone and literally say, okay, scale of 1 to 5. If it's anxiety we're talking about, how anxious am I feeling? And if we see that number go down, good job, we did the thing. If we see that number stay the same, okay, we need to try something new, right? And over the course of 30 days, that's nice too, because it gives you, even though there's an ebb and flow, we naturally have some days where we feel better. We naturally have some days where we feel worse. Even though that's the case, over the course of 30 days, you will be able to see something like a trend, Okay, I am banning the spammer. So sorry about that, and I am deleting their comments. Okay. So, having said that, maybe you have a little bit of an idea of what your specific goal is. Maybe you still need to do some soul searching and think and find it. That's fine. I'm going to spend the rest of this broadcast throwing ideas at you for both choosing a goal that feels really good for you and then manifesting it. Here's how this challenge is going to work. Every single week, as the moon moves through its phases, I'm going to check in and I'm going to do a video just like this, and you're going to be a part of it. It's going to be really like a conversational thing. If you're watching the replay, again, please participate in these comments, because I'm going to keep checking back. And I know people get notified when someone else posts on a post they've posted on, check through and like come back for these comments. Please be a part of the conversation in an ongoing way, because I think it's really important. And please follow me on Patreon, because even if you're not a paid patron, I will be making a post each week along with these live streams that like has some ideas and has room for you to share. How are things going for you? What's your goal looking like? What are you struggling with? Yes, Savannah says collaboration and community. That is where it's at. So if you're looking to choose a goal, I did mention some characteristics of a good goal. A stretch, but not so much of a stretch that it feels unbelievable, and specific enough that you will actually know if you get it, right? If it's a health goal, for example, a lot of people said to be healthier. Find a way to make that measurable, right? It might look like exercising a certain number of minutes per day, and if you do that enough days, then you've hit the goal. It might look real practical like that, right? It might be maybe you're doing something like working on reducing your blood pressure or something, and that's something you can actually check and measure, So whatever it is, pick something that you will actually be able to be like, here's a metric. I can consult this at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, and see how I'm doing with it, because that's going to help you know what's working and know what is not working. Because we want to do two things here. We want to put our energy into this goal. We want to both take kind of spiritual steps where we focus on our mindset and visualization and getting out of our own way. And we want to take practical steps. I am not someone who thinks you can just sit at home and manifest your future sitting on your couch daydreaming about being wealthy. You have to actually take the practical steps. And the reason I think it's powerful to take this kind of, you might call it spiritual approach, you might just call it like new agey approach, is because when we do the visualization and when we get excited about a goal and when we teach our subconscious that we mean it, it supercharges those steps. It might show us ideas we wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And it also activates our confirmation bias. I'm here to say that confirmation bias is powerful. For good and for bad, I see it absolutely playing a role in people's prejudice. But let me tell you how confirmation bias, which we're all hardwired for, by the way, you're not special, I'm not special. We all have confirmation bias. It is a brain chemistry thing. It's hardwired, it's evolutionary, we can't help it. Confirmation bias means that we have an idea that something is going to go a certain way, and our brain literally starts to look for things to prove that idea to be true. So, if we train our brain and say, I'm manifesting this thing, I'm going to have it at the end of the month, our confirmation bias is going to go to work for us and be like, how can we make this a true statement? And we may see opportunities we wouldn't have otherwise seen, and we may see things we can do that we wouldn't have otherwise thought of. So don't doubt your confirmation bias. I'm always saying belief is not required for anything I do. Belief is nifty, and I look at it as a tool. You know what I mean? But if all you're doing is working with your own natural brain's tendencies to have confirmation bias and then go after the thing and try to make it true and motivate yourself, and all that's happening is you're just taking steps because you feel inspired to do so, that's great. That's still a win. That's wonderful. And if you believe that you're co-creating your reality with the universe or with a higher power, also a win. You know what I mean? It's all good. That's my attitude. Okay. Savannah is suggesting for a health goal, track your water intake. Anna says, I don't know where to start in terms of health. I want to attract to me people who can steer me in the right direction. That actually sounds like a really positive thing to manifest, Anna. And that's something I've gone to manifest in the past, like manifesting a teacher or a mentor, manifesting someone who is modeling what I am doing so that I can learn, manifesting the person to learn from, a path shower, a light bringer. That's a super valid thing to manifest the teacher. And then the next month or whatever, you can manifest whatever result you feel is right, Russ says, I think you're a little special, Roy. Thank you, Russ. I don't know if that's like the sarcastic, like, I think you're special. Okay. Grayson says, I had abnormal blood work yesterday. My goal is to change those numbers in a month. That's an awesome goal. Oh, hey, Ondine. How you doing? Hey, Haiku, but make it tarot. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Hydration checkpoint, everybody. Hang on. Okay. If you're like, oh my gosh, what do I want to manifest? I'm going to recommend to you. Oh, I like that. Anna says, my health improvement is tied in with my chart as well. Mars on the ascendant. That's really cool. And I like that because that's, I think, a way to make this kind of process, like manifesting, feel very personal. I am not going to be the person who's like, this is the one size fits all approach. It works for everyone. Do this. Because I have tried a lot of one size fits all approaches and they haven't friggin' worked for me. And that sucks because then you feel like you're failing instead of maybe I just haven't found the right approach. So my attitude is a little more laissez-faire. It's like, hey, if something works for you, please do it. And please tell everyone what worked for you because maybe it'll work for someone else. If something doesn't work for you, let us know. But don't assume it might work for someone else. You know, like we all have different personality types, different needs, whatever. Don't worry about it. Ondine says I dropped the ball on this. Don't worry about it. This is like, I know people are at work. I know people have lives. Feel free to like watch the replay and participate that way. It's still super valid. Thank you, Russ. So if you're still kind of torn on what you want to manifest, then I'm going to recommend an exercise to you. And you can do this in one of a few ways. You can take a walk and kind of think or talk to yourself or just tell yourself by the end of this walk, I want more clarity. You can do the journaling thing if you're a journaler. I kind of do a journal out loud thing sometimes, either on my walks. Yeah, my neighbors probably think I'm crazy because I totally talk to myself when I'm walking. I have a lot of good epiphanies. Or on a nice long drive, I'll do a like talk to myself on the drive kind of thing. Or do a meditation, you know? And during this meditation, say to yourself, more of a visualization style meditation where you get yourself into a calm state and visualize meeting like your guide or your highest self or your inner child or whatever part of you needs something most right now, and ask them what it is you should be manifesting and have a conversation with them and figure out, okay, what is it? What's the first step? Sometimes what you want to manifest may feel big. Sometimes we want huge change in our lives. And I'm talking about me. That's what I do. I always overshoot. I'm always like, well, I really want this. And like, you know, when I was in my 20s, it was, I want to quit my day job. And it was like, there are a lot of steps in between desiring to quit your day job and actually having the like kind of financial footing or whatever to do so. So I really needed to manifest that, not all in one go, but one small step at a time. So if your goal feels really important to you, but really big, ask yourself what the first step is and manifest that. And you can move right on to the second step as soon as you manifest the first. You know, focus small because small steps add up. That I can tell you with certainty. Oh, I love this. Anna says, the one thing I learned from my father, who is on the other side of the veil, has always told me, start with what you have. I love that. That's really nice. What do you have right now? And how can you use it? You know, grow where you're planted. Hello, Ashaya. I see that you're asking for a reading, but I'm not doing tarot readings today. Tune back in on Saturday at 11, because every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do some free readings. But right now we're talking about manifesting. Okay, Brian says, I want to manifest a soulmate or partner, but I don't exactly have control over this. I'm really glad you made that comment, Brian, because I want to talk about that. That's where, for some people, magical thinking comes in. But I think that's just the reality of goal setting and trying to change your life. The truth is we don't have control over everything. There are people, and it's okay if you feel differently than me about this. There are people who believe we create our own reality and everything that's happening right now is a product of your thoughts and a product of your vibration. And it's like, that would be true if we each individually lived in a vacuum. But in my opinion, it's not true because we live in a consensual reality. We live in a reality with many, many other beings, right? I'm here, you're here, everyone in the comments, we're all here. People we don't like very much are here. Our exes are here in the flow sometimes, you know. People can affect us. And it might not have anything to do with our vibration. It has to do with their journey and what they're trying to create in their lives. We can't help but bump into each other. Our energies are going to interact with the energies of other people. So we do not have complete control over our lives, but we do have some control. And this is hard for some people because it's not a black and white thing. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're right, Brian, that you don't have control over whether you meet the love of your life tomorrow, right? Some of that has to do with happenstance. Some of that has to do with if the person you are attracted to is attracted back to you, all that kind of stuff. But you do have some control, right? If you're looking, for example, if you're looking for a relationship, you can decide, okay, I'm going to take some kind of action, like maybe set up a dating profile or maybe join some kind of a meetup group for a hobby so I get to meet other people of like minds, or do some type of networking thing, because often, you know, like that can turn into friendship and that kind of thing. You could say, I'm going to take one of those actions. Or you could say, I am going to, you know, sit at home in my pajamas for the next 3 days and watch Netflix, which is a less likely action to get you the partner you desire, right? And by the way, everyone uses that example, sitting in your pajamas watching Netflix. And I'm here to say sometimes that's exactly what we need. Sometimes we do need downtime. We can't be working hard on our goals at every single minute. So it really is okay to take downtime and take care of yourself. But my point being, we don't have control over everything that happens. What we do have control over is our actions and, to some extent, our mindset. And I say to some extent because, let's be real, we're affected by past trauma. We're affected by cultural beliefs that maybe have seeped in without us even being aware of it when we were children. You know, we're affected by the beliefs and worldviews of the people around us, people we respect. Their ideas might change our minds. And we're also, you know, also probably affected by brain chemistry. You know, some of us have, some of us may have disorders around the ability to focus. Some of us may have difficulty with depression or anxiety or something like that, right? We're affected by all of this. So to an extent, we can affect our mindset, we can affect our mood, but we don't have 100% control over that either. Yet, I think we could all agree that there are steps we can take, right, to feel better, to feel more in control of our lives. So that's what I'm talking about with this challenge is, let's identify the thing that feels like we have some agency and we could begin to take steps. So it sounds like, and I'm sorry I'm using you as an example, Brian. I just feel like what you said is so helpful to what I want to express. It sounds like manifesting a soulmate or partner right now might feel too big for it to feel real to you. It might be that manifesting something like, I'm going to go on a few dates, or I'm going to meet 5 new people, you know, whether or not they're romantically interested in me or me and them, but I'm going to meet more people to increase the likelihood that I will find my soulmate partner. You know, like that could be step 1 to that larger goal of manifesting a soulmate or partner. That might be the thing you focus on for this month. It might be something different. Like, it has to be something that works for you. So find a step that's part of the way to your big goal, if your big goal feels too big, and focus on manifesting that. And part of our job for this next 4 weeks, 28 days, is going to be identifying the tiny steps that we can take towards that small step, right? If my step is I want to get more patrons, for example. Okay, I don't have control over that either, right? Very similarly, I can do the actions that put myself out there, but I don't know. I can't control the person I can't like magic someone into clicking, yes, I become Rory Kelly's patron. And I wouldn't do that if I could, because that would be like messing with free will. And in my personal opinion, not right. So yeah, you know, I have to take actions that are within my control, hope for the best, and visualize the best coming out. Okay, then Anna says, that brings out something else, karma. We don't have control over it, but how will I know when the karma jail I've been put in for the last 40 years will be paid in full? That's a really interesting question. And I invite everyone to weigh in on their thoughts on that, because I don't want to be like, I look at myself when I do these challenges and stuff like that as a peer rather than authority. We're all in this together. I will share my personal opinion though, which is, if you can't know, you should assume the thing that will help you the most. I think that about a lot of things. I think belief is a tool. I think sometimes we cheat ourselves into thinking that being less optimistic is more realistic, when in fact it's just as realistic or unrealistic as, as optimism. It's hard to say what's more realistic because we don't know the future. So my attitude is, when I am not sure about something, when I'm like, well, maybe something outside of my control is going to stop me from doing this, I choose to believe the thing that's helpful. I choose to believe right now that there is a way, for example, for me to go get more patrons, that there's a way for me to make live streaming and creating content like this on the internet and building community a bigger part of my life than it is. Maybe something will happen tomorrow that changes everything, right? But if I choose to believe it, then I'm in a headspace where I can take steps. If you choose to believe, I might be in karmic jail right now and I might have no control over everything, that makes everything you do feel a little bit like, man, I don't know, should I even bother? But if you choose to believe, hey, my karmic jail could end tomorrow, so maybe I should start taking action so that I can snowball on that energy that's finally unblocked, Either one might be true. You can't really know. So you might as well believe the thing that allows you to feel more empowered and allows you to take some practical action. That's my personal viewpoint. My personal viewpoint is belief is a tool. Let's believe the thing that helps us. I also want to share, I heard this on a podcast the other day, and it was, the title of this speech was like, Why Macbeth is Wrong. I think it was Macbeth. Maybe it was Hamlet. I don't know. One of the Shakespeare plays where the guy's like, to be or not to be. And he's basically like, maybe nothing I do matters. Maybe I'll die tomorrow, maybe it doesn't matter. And his attitude is, if you're going to die tomorrow anyway, you might as well spend your last days or hours or whatever doing what truly, truly makes you happy. In a way, it frees you up. It frees you up to say, I don't know what the universe will do, so therefore, I might as well go to bat for myself in the best way I can, with the hope that the universe will collaborate. And even if it doesn't, at least I'll have made some headway, and at least maybe I'll have experienced hope and joy and optimism instead of depression along the way. So I think that those are all like interesting perspectives, All right, let's see. I'm going till 4 today, and I think I'm right on schedule. What I want to talk about next is practically, what does it look like to manifest something from new moon to new moon? I've mostly been talking about choosing a goal, which is the first step. Can't manifest something without choosing that goal. What do you do once you've chosen it? I'm a big believer in ritual. And again, this is not because I have necessarily a supernatural belief. I think ritual is really, really good to work with our brain chemistry. That's kind of a chaos magician belief where maybe we're hacking our own consciousness. Maybe we're teaching our subconscious that something is true so that subconsciously we'll go out and make it true, right? We'll activate our confirmation bias. And that's powerful. If that's the only thing we're doing, still great, Alternatively, if you believe that there is more than just your subconscious kind of and you doing your best to stumble through life, and maybe there's a energy you can harness, or a higher power, or a higher version of yourself, or a spirit guide, or someone, or whatever that you want to work with, please do. And my attitude on that is going to be, if it's helpful to believe it, then go for it, because if it helps you, it helps you. That's a win, in my opinion. So Russ says, reprogramming the subconscious mind with positive affirmations in the theta state works wonders. Dr. Bruce Lipton has done the best work on this. That's something y'all can look up. I would have to look that up myself because I haven't looked at that particular person's work. But I do know that in general, I agree. I agree that we can reprogram our subconscious beliefs. I think there are multiple ways to do this. And the reason to bring me back around to ritual is because I think ritual gets at our subconscious very well. Ritual is a part of the human experience. Some people reject it because maybe they grew up with a very ritualized sense of religion and it felt, fake or disempowering to them in some way. But I do find that we tend to create our own rituals. I was not someone who was raised religious, and I find that I have, in a big way, created ritual in my life day by day, and that it's been very meaningful to me and added meaning to my life. And I haven't needed to believe anything special for the impact of ritual on my life to be very powerful. So I'm going to suggest to you that your first action, and the new moon is a great time to do this, is a dedication ritual in which you dedicate yourself to the thing that you are going to manifest. This can be as simple as like writing a statement, getting yourself into a good state of mind where you're calm. You don't want to do this when you're stressed out, when you're in the middle of your workday, when you're on a drive, like late for a party. Give yourself some time, find some space. If you can't do it tomorrow, it's okay. Like, this is something we joke about in the witchy community. Like, the first 3 days after a new moon or a full moon are still good. It still counts. So do it in the next few days. Give yourself some time. Give yourself 30 minutes, maybe a whole hour, and whatever you can do for yourself. First, spend that time getting yourself calm, getting yourself into a state where you really feel, if you've got stress going on, find a way to release that stress, maybe like even a breathing exercise where you visualize, calm, soothing energy coming in on your inhales, and you visualize the stress just wafting away from you on your exhales. If you are like me and you like to work with the elements, you could say, air, earth, take this stress, take this energy that I am using to stress out, and transform it into something positive for somebody else. Allow yourself to believe that can happen. Again, helpful belief. Get yourself to a place where you feel calm and relaxed. Maybe a little excited though. Maybe a little excited about what you're going to work on. And then make your ritual as ritually or whatever as you want. I'm kind of a witchy person. I like to light a candle. Some people like to cast a magic circle. Some people like to call the quarters. Some people like to, do a very deep particular meditation practice that's more involved than I discussed. For some people, it really is enough just to like find a quiet space, and sit and be comfortable. For some people, movement helps, yoga or dance or, music. I'm a musician. Obviously, my guitar is right here. For some people, that helps them. Whatever it is. And dedicate yourself to the thing you want to manifest. And ask for help. Who are you asking? That depends on you. You could ask your higher self. You could ask your subconscious. You could ask a higher power that you believe in. You could ask kind of universal energy, spirit, a lot of people call it, which I think of similar to like the Force in Star Wars, just like an energy that is present and can be directed. You can ask your higher self, your inner child, your guides, your ancestors. But that's the crux of it. Get calm, get collected, commit yourself to it. And you do that by making a statement of saying, I am committed to bringing this into my life. And that commits you, and it might not commit you in the next 30 days, right? Maybe you try your hardest to manifest something and you don't do it in 30 days. And if it's something that's really important to you, I hope that you will still push to manifest it. Because if you get there in 45 days, guess what? That's still great. You still got the thing you wanted. So I hope that even if you don't get to the finish line on the right day, that you don't count it as a failure, that you keep trying. Or maybe get the lesson you need, right? And learn what you need to do first to manifest that thing. Commit yourself and then ask for help. Ask for specific help if you want, or just ask for guidance if you're not sure what that is. If you're like, I don't know what it's going to take, on my health journey, on my journey towards finding a romantic partner, on my journey, in my case, towards like finding more patrons, I don't know what's going to be required. Ask for a teacher, ask for guidance, ask for grace, ask for helpful coincidences, or just ask for plain help. You don't have to know. Sometimes we need help, and that's the whole point. We need help, so we don't know. So just ask for help. It's okay. And then, as Judith pointed out, visualize. Give yourself some time to really, truly imagine what having your goal will feel like. What will it feel like to be with someone that you really love, who really understands you? What would it feel like? Imagine a conversation with them, maybe a really casual conversation. Maybe you're, cooking breakfast together and one of you is going through the mail and you're kind of half paying attention and you have that deeply connected yet comfortable doing separate things energy, like whatever it is for you that is going to make you feel like, yes, Maybe you imagine very specific if you're looking for a health number, right? Maybe you're imagining, I am looking at those numbers and they have changed. I've got a numbers goal, right? Me looking at my patron list and seeing a higher number. Could be something I could visualize. Maybe you imagine getting an email notification about something, even if it's something intangible, because that's cute. You know, imagine getting a little email notification that pops up on your phone, like, guess what? Your soulmate is waiting for you. How charming is that? I love that. Ruby, I'm glad you asked this question. Ruby says, is it best to focus on one goal or two equally important goals? I am going to encourage you to pick one goal for this challenge. And I understand that it might be hard to prioritize. Therefore, I'm going to tell you flip a coin. One of two things will happen when you flip a coin. You'll flip a coin, you'll get the answer, you'll pick it. Or you'll flip a coin, you'll get the answer, and you'll be like, no, wait, I'm doing the other thing. And it'll reveal what you really wanted to you. And remember, we're doing this for 28 days, right? Focus on one thing that's truly important to you for 28 days. It doesn't mean like you can't do anything else. I'm not asking you to like, give up anything else you're working on or whatever, or stop going to work, or just like, fast and meditate for 28 days straight. Continue to live your lives. But focus on one thing for 28 days, because when we focus, we are very powerful. And when we divide our attention, then our results are going to be divided, right? So I'm going to encourage you to, for this challenge, pick one thing. It doesn't mean you're not allowed to have any other goals. And if you feel really stressed about that, say, okay, for 28 days, I'm going to focus on this goal. And then for the next 28, I'll focus on this other equally important goal. Like make that promise to yourself. And that can be the way that you do it. Yes, that's really true. Anna says one goal reached may make the other goal that much closer. In fact, you might even, I would say another way to look at this might be like, hey, if I do this, I'll learn something about manifesting. Maybe the next time when I try to manifest this other goal, I'll know how to do it faster. Or maybe they're tied into each other. And again, I'm going to talk about helpful beliefs. What if you chose to believe that manifesting one of those goals was inherently going to make the other one easier? What if you just chose to believe that that was true? What an interesting perspective to go into it with. Yes, I have said that in your readings, Ruby, that the two are intertwined. And I really do believe it, because I think for you, it's an overall growth thing. That is really fueling your movement. I'm drinking more water. It's important. Hang on, my friends. If you're drinking water, well, cheers. Russ says, visualizing our goals. I'm a big believer in this. Visualize a day in our life after we've reached our goal. Yes. And I'm going to take a step further and be like, visualize what it looks like to be halfway to our goal, right? Visualize one step closer. Again, I'll use the example of finding a soulmate or something else. If we haven't even met someone that we're interested in, that might be hard to visualize, or maybe easy in the way it's easy to daydream, but hard to believe it's real. What if we visualized, I don't know, getting an email message from someone that we had met the other day that made us smile? What if we visualized picking up the phone and hearing someone's voice and being like, oh, there's something special about that person's voice? What if we just visualized getting into a conversation with someone we meet on the street, at the grocery store, at the laundromat, and finding it's a really good conversation and laughing together? What does it look like to be 1/4 towards your goal, or 1/10, or one step along the way? I love breaking things into steps. It's so powerful. So that's your first goal, your first job. And I'm going to make a post about this, by the way, so please go to the Patreon. I'll type it in the comments once again. Whether or not you choose to support me there, it's fine. I'm not interested in putting any pressure on anyone. But I'm going to make a post that's open to the public. Everyone will be able to see it later today, and it's going to share some of these ideas that we've discussed, and also have a comment section. And I hope you will all put in your comments like what you're doing, like check in throughout the week with it. After that, let me put it in Instagram too. After that, we got a whole week till we meet again. So here's the way I look at it. Manifesting with a moon cycle. The new moon is a good time for setting intentions. And the reason people say that is because then the moon begins to wax. And as the moon waxes, it appears to be growing. And it's a good time for us to grow the thing we want in our lives, right? So it's just kind of like samey, right? As above, so below. As the moon waxes, which will begin happening soon. So consider these next few days a good day to just commit to your intention. And I actually recommend do your ritual, Do whatever it means to you to do a commitment ritual, and take a full 24 hours before you take any action. And that might sound counterintuitive because I've been sitting here to tell you to take practical action. The reason is the ritual is going to affect your subconscious. And I want you to have a sleep so that your subconscious can do its stuff, right? So that your subconscious learning can take place before you take your first action. Because you might find that you do this ritual and you finish it and you're like, okay, fingers crossed, I hope this works. I'm not even sure what action I'm going to take. And you might find that you wake up the next morning and you're like, I know what I need to do. And if you don't, it's okay. Then your first action is to figure out your first action, right? So first, do your ritual. Wait 24 hours. Your whole job during that 24 hours, instead of doing planning, is to just think about how nice it would be if you manifested that thing. And I want you to frame it that way. I know that there are people who will tell you the other thing. I know there are people who will say, like, frame it as if you already have it. I want you to imagine how nice it would be to have it. That could look like a daydream, whatever. I just want you to, like, be in that pleasant, daydreamy frame of mind where you kind of have a silly smile on your face and you're like, yeah, that would be nice, where you actually can picture it. I don't want you to bully yourself into, like, yes, I am already wealthy, I am already healthy. That feels like cognitive dissonance and feels challenging to us, at least to me. And hey, if it works for you, do it. Go for it. But for the first day, I just want you to do that ritual. And then think about how nice it would be to have the thing, and then go to sleep. And then the next day, I want you to start taking actions. I want you to take practical actions and spiritual actions. You could, if you so desire, I'm going to talk on the spiritual side for a minute. You could do that same ritual every day for 7 days. Sometimes doing the same ritual every day is incredibly powerful. I did a releasing ritual 2 years ago around New Year. I was releasing some limiting beliefs around money and around like friendship. I was a kid who got bullied in school, so I have a lot of like nobody likes me feelings. I was releasing that. And I have to tell you, I did the same ritual over 9 days where I did this releasing, and it changed my personality. I got to my subconscious and I found myself making new choices I would not have made. I found things coming out of my mouth that I would not have had the courage to say 9 days before or whatever. So if you want to just repeat your ritual every day and that's how you do it, that's your effort of spirituality towards your goal, that's great. If you don't have time for that, if you spend maybe 5 minutes a day imagining how nice it would be to have it, that could be a really good thing. Or if you visualize it in a different way each day, right? Perhaps you write out what you think it would be like. Maybe you, if you're an artist of any sort, if you're creative, maybe you make a poem, or maybe you draw or paint something that makes you feel the way it would feel to have this, or something you imagine your future self painting because you're so happy that you have it. You know what I mean? Maybe something like that. Find something to do each day on the mental side to keep yourself focused on your goal. You might find that you're brushing up against like limiting beliefs and fears, and then that might be something that might be what you do. Your action for the day might be taking yourself in hand and be like, okay, we're going to work through this fear because I'm not going to self-sabotage this time. We're going to figure this out. I'm going to fight it with logic and kindness, And the other thing that is going to be your job for the next week is then to take a practical action each day. I'm going to recommend you do both. I'm going to recommend you take one kind of spiritual or mental or emotional action each day and one practical action each day. And I'm going to encourage you to make it a bite-sized action rather than a gigantic action, because it's not sustainable to take gigantic action every day. There might be a day where you do get inspired and you're like, I've got a few hours to throw at this. I'm going to really do it up. Whether it's like, if it's a health goal, it's like, I'm going to have a special day at the gym. I'm going to, go use my machines and then do the thing and all that or whatever. Or if it's a money goal, that might be the day that you do all your finances and balance your checking account and everything and do your savings or whatever. There might be days where your practical action you don't have that much time for. I want you to feel open to taking a bite-sized practical action. I want your action to be as small as, I'm going to call someone and talk about this, or I'm going to, spend exactly 5 minutes updating my profile on this website where I'm hoping I might meet people or whatever, or I'm going to spend 2 minutes today Just writing down what I ate today, if I'm keeping a food journal, for example. Give yourself room to have your practical actions fit into your day. If you have a real busy day, don't push yourself. Identify something that's so easy you can't miss it, and then make sure you do it. And if you do have a day where you have some extra time and you have the emotional energy to do it, then yeah, go all in, make it a big action. Yes. Anna says, I don't want it to feel like taking the SATs. I really feel that way. It's not helpful. And those who are like in the New Thought movement or whatever would say it's not good manifesting practice for us to be stressing about it, for us to be like, am I being a good manifester? I'm trying to manifest it. That energy is not helpful, I promise. And it doesn't feel good, and it makes me anxious personally, So find ways for your actions to feel easy and enjoyable. This should be fun. I really that's the other rule, is make it fun. Make it a fun challenge. If it feels like homework to, journal every day, then don't journal, then take a walk and think out loud and daydream. If it feels like homework to meditate and you feel like I'm so bad at meditating, this sucks, and don't meditate, then instead go drive to a beach and look at the waves for a little while, because that's just as good. If it feels like really hard to take a step that you think you have to take, then I'm going to encourage you to give yourself permission to either spend exactly 5 minutes on it and no more and take it in very small steps, or to not do that and make your first action being, I'm going to find something else I can do. I'm going to ask around. Maybe I'll ask the internet. Maybe I'll ask my friends and family for a different step I could take, because this one sucks. I don't want you to feel like there's only one path and you're failing if you can't do it. There are many, many ways to reach our goals. All roads lead to Rome. Yes, Anna says, yes, that's like spiritual constipation. Oh, Savannah says, I lost service, so I'll have to catch the replay for the end. That's fine. And hey, if you've been watching the replay, I hope you've been commenting along. Let us know. Okay, I'm going to wrap us up now. Yes, Haiku But Make It Tarot says, challenge, but make it fun. Exactly. I'm going to wrap us up now. And here is my call to action to you. First, I want you to comment. Tell me if you have decided on a goal. If you feel like sharing what your goal is, please tell me in the comments. And if you know your first action, tell me what your action is going to be. It's okay if you don't know this yet, because remember, the first thing you do is commit. Also, tell me in the comments, how are you going to ritualize your commitment? What is your commitment ceremony going to look like? If this is the kind of thing where it's like, to be silent and it's important to you not to share it, that's okay. I don't want anyone to share anything they're uncomfortable with. But if it is something that you're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do, I'm psyched about it, please tell us. I want to know. I will tell you already that my ritual is going to definitely involve calling the elements, earth, fire, air, water, spirit. That's something I usually do at the beginning of a ritual. It puts me in a good ritual state. It's going to involve some visualization, and it's going to involve some writing and some speaking aloud. Some of the most powerful work I've done has just been me reading aloud my intention, and meaning it and asking for help with it. I intend to bring this into my life. Please put me in a space to see what it is that I need to do. Please help me however you can. Please put me in a space to help others with their goals as well. That's like my simplest manifesting ritual, prayer, invocation, whatever you want to call it. Let me know what it is that you're going to do to ritualize this for yourself. And also, if there's anything you feel real stuck on, tell me now, ask me. Put it in the comments. Let's all help you. We don't want you to get stuck. If you feel stuck at any time during this challenge, I want you to tell us. I want you to scream it from the rooftops. I feel stuck. Oh my gosh. Because then our job as a group is going to be to rush in and help you get unstuck. I don't want you to feel stuck. Cool. Okay, I see some people listing things. Finally, your last call to action is to go to patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot and just follow me there. You can subscribe. You can become a patron if you want for $1 a month or more and get in on the Discord community and the daily check-ins. You're welcome to. I would so love to have you in that community. If all you want to do is follow me for free, that's also great. Then you get to see the blog posts and tune in, and it's free. Okay. Your third call to action, I know this is so many things, is just to write down on your calendar, Thursday, not tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 a.m. if you're on Pacific time. that's our next check-in, and that will be when the moon is in the middle of waxing. So it'll be a very powerful time. So write that down and make sure you tune in. It'll be right here, wherever you're watching. That's where I'll be again. Okay, I'm going to read some of your goals, rituals, ideas aloud. And here is my final request to you, is that as you hear other people's intentions, I ask that you just send some good energy to them. Whatever that means to you, just send some energy affirming that you hope that they get their wishes too. There's plenty to go around. Okay. I'm taking a look at some of these. Haiku But Make It Tarot says, manifesting a new job. Ritual, writing an acceptance letter for my new job. I love this ritual. That's so cool. I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. Like post, if you can do it, like post a picture of the acceptance letter. I love that. Oh, if you wanna post about this, please do. Please share this. It's super, like, the more the merrier. Hashtag it. Hashtag Sassafras Tarot Manifesting Challenge. I know that's a lot of words. Sassafras Tarot Manifesting Challenge. Hashtag it so that we can see what you're working on, because that's so cool. Wherever you post it, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Okay. Ondine says, manifesting someone who can give me technical support with the goal of getting more followers and listeners. I really love that. That's like the manifesting a teacher thing. There's a big goal, and the next step of the goal is finding someone who can give the support to that goal, someone who can help close the distance between point A and point B. I absolutely love that. That's a really good goal. Okay, let's see. I see a couple other comments. Judith says, I got a goal. Setting up an actual meeting with the person I want to work with. Yes, I love it. Huge. Beautiful. Okay, Anna says, yes, improving my health. I will be talking with my dad since he's in the place that's better than Google in terms of information. I love that. Consulting an ancestor. That's beautiful. Russ says, first action, do my damn taxes. Yes, big mood. You got to do the practical stuff. Judith says, I am drowning in paperwork. I need support with this. And Judith also says, Ondine, I know somebody. Ondine, this is on the Facebook. If you go over to the Facebook version of this, you will see Judith's comment. You might know each other already. You're both in fire starters. Connect with each other. Judith, Ondine, connect with each other so that y'all can help each other. That's the beautiful thing about this group stuff, is sometimes just by naming it, just by declaring it, it becomes easy to find the help we need. I love it. Okay, my loves. I am going to let you go. I'm so excited about doing this challenge with you. I am going to be posting on the Patreon later today, patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. It's going to be a recap of what we talked about today, and it's going to be a couple of cute ideas for rituals and for first actions that we can take. And I hope that you will keep commenting. You can comment here. You can make a post and tag it Sassafras Tarot Manifesting Challenge. You can comment on the Patreon blog posts. Wherever you do it, I'm going to be like, I'm all the places. I'm like a spider with a web right now. I want to see what you're doing. I'm so excited about it. I'll be talking with you. If you're watching the replay, know that I'm going to read those comments. Know that I'm going to have things to say to you. Know that I'm going to be affirming you, and that other people are going to be showing up and answering your questions and everything too. I love it. Okay, I got a couple more goals. Ruby says, goal, career. I'm not sure what to do next. As you know, I have been taking the steps. That is true, you have. Which makes me wonder if I should flip a coin and pick the other equally important goal. That's your next step, Ruby. That's the homework I'm going to give you today, is to just spend the rest of the time today thinking about what it is that you're going to work on manifesting this month. And trust. I don't want this to feel like a really bad homework thing. I want you to trust that whatever choice you make is going to be the right choice in the moment, and that it's ultimately going to help you do both things. Russ says, Judith, we can definitely support each other. So much anxiety over this. And Judith says, oh my God, yes, send me a friend request. I love it. We're all supporting each other. We're all helping each other. It's so special. All right, everybody. Make sure you go do the follow thing over on Patreon, Sassafras Tarot, patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. You can see right in the little thing below how to spell it. The link's in the chat as well. Because I will be making a blog post about this. If you do want to join me and you want to join like the supercharged challenge, that's where we're going to be checking in with each other every single day. I'm going to make a post every day on the Patreon We're going to be talking about it every day in the Discord. If you would like that, then just sign up to support me as a patron for $1 a month or more, and you're in. It's as simple as that, and we'll welcome you and celebrate you. All right. Ooh, one more goal. Ruby says, thank you. I like it when you give me homework. I'm the same way. I like homework. It makes me feel like, okay, I just have to do this. That's it. I have a step. Brian says, goals. Go out and strike up a conversation with 3 women I don't know. Not about work, at different places. Ritual. Symphonic music in a circle of something. Brian, that's so cool. First of all, I just love your ritual. As a fellow musician, I'm just like, yes, sit in a circle and let music make the magic. Yes. And I love your goals because it's so specific. It's like, it's specific. You will know if you do it or not. It is an actionable thing that you can take towards your goal of finding a soulmate, a life partner. And I love that you have the very specific thing of starting a conversation not about work. Because I'm right there with you. I'm a workaholic. I'm very career focused. And I think it's really powerful to say, no, I'm going to connect with someone socially, not in a work networking way, because that's the kind of connection I want to make. Very powerful. Yes, Judith says there's magic coming. It's true. Okay, my friends, farewell. Have a wonderful night. Let me know how the new moon thing goes. Come back and comment here tomorrow. Let me know how your ritual went. Or comment on the Patreon post, or send me an email, sassafrastarot@gmail.com. I want to know. All right, my darlings. Farewell, farewell. Sending lots of love and lots of good energy that we all get what we want. Bye.